On this discussion point on politicals, we want to take a look at ethnic politics and Nigeria's unity in a democratic governance. The Nigerian state, since political independence in 1960, has been basking in the euphoria of ethnic politics, where one must belong to the mainstream of ethnic politics for political relevance, or something that looks like that. Our guest on this subject matter is the chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Enugu, and chairman, Boots Party, Enugu State, Obinna Nnamani. Welcome to Politicals.
Thank you so much. Welcome, my viewers.
Good evening, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, so to what extent, let's just dive right in, to what extent has the ethnic politics shaped Nigeria's decision making in Nigeria's democratic era?
Well, ethnic politics has played a dominant role. And as a matter of fact, it is very difficult, if not impossible, to not experience ethnic sentiments, in the polity. There is nowhere in Nigeria, there is no office that sentiment does not play out. So I can tell you authoritatively that it has been a dominant issue in the Nigerian politics. Thank you.
Now, Nigeria is often described as a nation of diverse ethnic groups, multi-ethnic groups. The way, I don't know your own opinion, how has these various ethnic group or ethnic diversity influenced political alignments and governance in Nigeria? You know, Mr. President has often been accused of nepotism, and he was not the first to face such accusations. Even the immediate past president was also accused of making political appointments along the line, religious and ethnic line. So, looking at how this has influenced political alignment and governance in Nigeria, what is your view?
Well, you are correct. When you say that in Nigeria, not just the present, even the past, leadership, there has been a lopsidedness, in the appointments or in sharing the resources, if I may put it that way. We have, like you said, multi-ethnic nationalities, over 250. And then, amongst that, we have 3 major ethnic nationalities. Of course, the Igbo, the Hausa Fulani, and the Yoruba. Now, I can tell you that why it has continued to influence the Nigerian politics, and I'm talking about that ethnic sentiment, why it has continued to influence the Nigerian politics is because of that diversity. You see, when people feel that their own ethnic identity or person is not represented, or that their ethnic nationalities are not being represented within the government, it calls for concern. Some persons start raising some form of agitation, and at the end of the day, it boils down to why people will always make reference on the need to establish federal character. The essence of that is to have an evenly distribution of resources or appointments, to make sure that all the ethnic nationalities, in one way or the other, are fully represented. That is it.
Okay, so how exactly can the national parties in Nigeria be reconstructed in a way that it doesn't really portray ethnic interests?
Sorry, let me get your question, please.
How exactly can political parties be structured in a way, in terms, I mean, for the sake of democracy, so that it's not structured in a way that it is in favor of a particular ethnic group?
Well, you know that
Is it even possible
a
to structure parties not in line with ethnic sentiments? So that we don't have Igbo political parties,
Yes.
parties for the house.
Yes.
on a normal, a political party has a national face, because you see, people are at liberty to join a political party, irrespective of where they come from. Someone cannot want to join the party, and then he will be told, sorry, you are not from this ethnic group,
So you
therefore
won't
you will not join. No, it does not happen. So you are at liberty. The question of whether a political party eventually seems to be a regional thing is when unintentionally, you know, people start aligning, especially people within that region start aligning with that political party. But it does not mean that it is originally structured or designed
Along
Yes.
ethnic lines.
Exactly.
Let's look at a party like APGA.
Yes.
Was it also formed with the national view?
Oh, of course.
How on earth did it eventually turn to Igbo party first and then Anambra party thereafter?
Well, if you discover,
And I think the slogan is Nkabunkan. Is that
Exactly.
the slogan?
yes. Now, if you discover the first national chairman of that party was an Igbo, Chekwa Sokorie, an Igbo man. You discover too, the first presidential candidate, was a Dim Odumegwu.
Both of Anambra State.
Yes, Anambra State. So, given that these are strong political figures within that state, he was able to give the party an edge or advantage in Anambra State. And that is why, till date, the APGA is still a strong party in Anambra State. But that level of influence was not exerted to other states. But it does not necessarily mean that originally it was designed as a regional party. No, far from that. Thank you.
So what strategies exactly can be employed to shift the Nigerian political culture from the ethnic loyalty that it's in to issues-based politics?
What can be done is that Nigerians will need a form of sensitization. That sensitization is to a large extent, rise above ethnic sentiments. You see, when we say that the ethnic sentiments, playing a role in Nigerian politics, that it can hardly be erased, it does not mean that there are people who do not understand that the best form of politics is to strike a balance while observing and recognizing, yes, that the minorities need to also have their say, need to also have their way. We must also observe that there is something called competence, called character, and if I may add, commitment. leadership. If our focus, especially in electing political leaders, is narrowed down to competence, character, and commitment, I can tell you we will have less worry about ethnic sentiments. I can tell you that. You know why? There is a saying that there is no discrimination against competence. It's just like when you want to fix your car. Your concern is who can fix the car.
Better.
Not where the person comes from. Your concern is who can fix this. So you have no business trying to find out whether it's from this state, or that state, or this or that. Your question is, can you fix this car? The same thing goes. If maybe there's ill health and you visit a doctor, you do not go trying to find out
where the person is from.
Yes, from A or from B or from C state. Your concern is, can the person be able to provide the solution for the ill health? Man, that is what actually should drive our choice of political leaders.
Okay.
But because Nigeria is the way it is, and of course you know too well that the level of education is low in Nigeria. I don't know if you know that, especially in some regions. I don't want to be specific. So because those things are on ground, it is very, very difficult for you not to find people who are just falling over themselves still on the issue of the ethnic sentiment above the national interest. But it's wrong.
Is it possible for local interests to be aligned with national progress without compromising on either? Ethnic interest with the larger society, the national society?
When there is a balance, definitely.
Have we had instances that you can call to mind?
If, for example, one is from a minority ethnic group, but also has the capacity to deliver effectively, but because of that minority does not have the opportunity, meaning the block of votes to get into power or office in order to deliver the vision that he has for the people. It becomes a challenge. But if there is zoning or rotation introduced into the system, it is that zoning, that rotation, that will now give the person an opportunity to come and be supported by the others. But as long as that opportunity does not come, it will be extremely difficult for the person to ascend to that office using that minority.
Okay, but do you believe in zoning political formula? Maybe to curb ethnic violence or marginalization even?
Good. Now, I believe in zoning. I believe in rotation of power. but not at the expense of competence. Not at the expense of one who can be able to deliver effectively. But also, we must note that there is no ethnic nationality in Nigeria where you cannot find a competent person. I don't think it's possible. So by the time we look inwards, you will still find someone from somewhere who can be able to deliver effectively. So yes, I believe in zoning definitely, because it gives everyone the equal opportunity, the ethnic groups the equal opportunities to be able to have a representative.
Okay.
Now, the politicians have been accused of manipulating the polity using, one, religious sentiments as well as ethnic sentiments. Do you think that is correct?
Yes, yes, I agree with that. You know, and of course, it didn't even start today. You know, in fact, it has been, you know, something that has kept on reoccurring every 4 years during elections. So it's not a strange thing that we see in the politics.
Interesting. Ethnic tensions have sometimes escalated into violence. In the case of what happened in those states, people that traveled from Kano, but the people from Kano State that were, you know, traveling and they were incinerated right there. You have the cases of herders farmers clash and so many of it. What do you think are the things that can be employed to, you know, cut down on the ethnic clashes that we have going on in Nigeria currently?
Well, when you talk about ethnic clashes, it seems to me like you're referring to a security challenge or security challenges.
More than political.
Yes, yes. Because, you know, take, for example, you know, in case of Edo, you know, just like what you mentioned, what happened, you know, is not politics. You know, it was just the people were kind of concerned, you know, trying to perhaps protect their place. They were not sure, you know, in my own thinking, they were not sure who these ones are, whether they have come to attack them or not. So in trying to perhaps protect their own people, their territory, their families, you know, their children and all of that, that incident, that ugly incident now happened. But I think, you know, it was more of a security issue, that perhaps, you know, security agents, you know, the relevant security agencies, you know, will be in the right position to answer.
Okay.
Right.
Looking at the program of the NYSC that is going on, it has a way of, you know, putting people from different ethnic religions or ethnic regions to a different one. Do you see this federal character being reducing ethnic tensions?
Start again, please. Sorry.
The concept of the NYSC.
Yes, yes.
It takes people from a particular region to a different place, possibly that they haven't been there before. Do you think that this federal character is reducing ethnic tensions in Nigeria?
Yes. In my own views, yes, to a large extent. You know, of course, there has been situations, you know, where you find, you know, people from different tribes, you know, getting married just for that purpose alone, you know, and it has, yes, gone to a large extent to be able to douse the ethnic tensions. The other thing is that, you know, though I'm in a kind of a digressing a little from this, but when we talk about the youth service and how it's done, I think that the relevant agencies that oversee all that, you know, should do more to ensure the security of the people. The security.
Okay, so the only clog in the wheel of that as a tool for ethnic cohesion
yes.
is insecurity.
Yes, you know, the security issues there, because there has been cases where people have been laid, you know, along the road, traveling
to their place of primary assignment.
Exactly, you know, and not one, not two, not three. In fact, you know, series of such examples, you know, and I don't think it's good, you know.
This ethnic diversity influencing political alignment in Nigeria, are there implications when it comes to national unity?
This
ethnic diversity and concentrations, does it affect national unity?
Well, you know, when it starts playing a dominant role, when it takes the center stage above national interests, then the tendency, the possibility to affect negatively the national unity is very high. Is very, very high, because our first focus and loyalty should be to the national interest. So the ethnic interest should never come above national interest, and that is the way it should be. When it goes the other way around, then it becomes a problem. It definitely will affect it negatively. That's my take.
Okay, all of these conflicts and lack of social cohesion within the country that is regarded as one, is there a democratic solution? I don't know now, that can bring about cohesion, that can bring about unity in our own, using democracy as a tool, as a measure?
Well, I believe there is, but it will not be an easy ride, as they say. You know, I believe, yes.
Okay. Let's digress a little. We shall return to focus. I saw as your designation chairman of Boot Party. When we talked to a politician earlier, he said there's about 19 registered political parties in Nigeria. In fact, that all of them are represented even in Enugu State, where our main studio is located. And so I'm hearing about the Boot Party for the first time. I don't know if Quinsley has always been.
Really?
I haven't.
Okay, so is it a registered political party? Maybe it's not even a political party, and
no, it is.
No,
it is.
Tell us about the Boot Party.
Boot Party is a registered political party in Nigeria, duly registered by the INEC.
Okay.
So the acronym is Because of Our Tomorrow.
Oh.
Boot. Yes.
Oh.
So when we say Boot Party, you know, it's actually an acronym, meaning because of our tomorrow. But just like you asked, it is a registered political party in Nigeria.
Now, when Labour became a third force during the last political outing, some persons did not hear about that party, other than one state in the west, the southwest, that had a governor from that party. As a journalist, I'm not sure I know any other thing about that party until 2023. And it was said that it doesn't have a structure. That's where I'm going now. Do you have a structure?
Definitely. Yes, we do.
Okay. And the national representatives or flag bearers when it comes to elections?
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. Let's return to our subject matter. Do you think that in fostering a more inclusive national identity, that politicians can help have our narrative, political narratives, outside ethnic sentiments? Will that help also?
Let me be clear.
Okay, in our case, to have a national identity, to be one indeed, to be a united force.
Yes.
How can the politicians be a part of that move?
Okay.
To have conversation not within ethnic sentiment.
When you said to be a united force, are you saying as a political party?
No. I'm
Because
talking about
that's what I'm looking.
Nigeria as a country, our national identity, not a party, a thing. You remember when the immediate the incumbent president Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to was declaring his interest. He said Emilokon. He used his own language to tell us that it was his turn. Okay, and then a lot of persons queued along that line because he was one of their own. I will not say that that is not the same with the flag bearer, national flag bearer of Labour Party, who we have a lot of persons from Southeast vote for. Because he was from this side, this parts, and there's this feeling that it's also the turn of the Igbo man. Is it possible that politicians can help us achieve this national identity of oneness that we're talking about?
Okay. I've said this earlier, and I said yes, that it is possible. But of course, it's not an easy ride. One is that the way Nigeria is now, even during elections, the first thing that comes to the mind of the people is that sentimental reasons. They want to attach unnecessary ethnic sentiment before they cast their votes. If, for example, you have an Hausa Fulani in a ballot, you have a Southeasterner Igbo in a ballot, you have a Westerner Yoruba in a ballot, the three of them in a ballot, and you ask people to cast their vote on their choice of candidate, what you will notice is that the people, if you take a statistics on the people who are voting and are asking them, their first reasoning will be, he is from my place. That's just how the average Nigerian thinks when it comes to voting. So to be able to rise above that, I've said earlier, it has to take a lot of sensitization. In fact, I don't know how long it's going to take, whether it's even possible to erase that ethnic sentiment completely, because it always comes to play. They will ask, where is the person from first, before they ask, what can he do? Man, is an issue for all of us. So people don't bother about the competence, whether the person can deliver effectively or not. They just want to know, where is he from? Okay, he's from my place, then let's vote for him. Man, that is a challenge. As a matter of fact, it is affecting the country, and it has continued to affect the country. And of course, I don't pray, but it may continue to affect the country. Nigeria.
You just mentioned sensitization, and now I want to ask you, in what ways can the educational system play a role in combating this ethnical prejudice that is going on?
Well, education plays a very good role when it comes to the mind of the people. Education tends to liberate the mind. When that is done, when people get enough or good or quality education, first and foremost, they start thinking logically. They have a strong logical reasoning. They can make the right judgment. It's not just, okay, we are told, if he's our person, from our place, let's vote him. No, they want to ask more questions. What can he do? If he eventually gets to power, will he be able to do this or that? The promises that has been made, how will they be achieved? He asks pertinent questions. But when the quality education is not there, it becomes difficult to even let the people know what to do, or even for them to think effectively for themselves.
Before we let you go, Bioma, you're also the chairman of Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC Enugu. We get to hear your voice only during elections, and it's a good thing you're with us right here on Signature Evening. And so you're going to tell us some of the activities of IPAC in the political space in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. What IPAC does is to ensure the deepening of democracy in Nigeria. So it is to that end that we work with the electoral umpire, the INEC, which is an unbiased umpire, to ensure that the democracy in Nigeria is what it is supposed to be, even as it relates to the conduct of elections. And that is why you notice that most of the times, before, during, or after the election, there's always the synergy between the political parties, the INEC, and the security agencies, because we try to make sure that the election is free, fair, and credible, and at the same time violence free.
And you get to achieve that to a large extent?
Yes, definitely.
Are all the political parties in Nigeria represented in IPAC?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. For want of time, I think this is where we are going to end this conversation. I mean, it continues. Shortly, we will begin another political season, and we'll have more of this discussion.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Obinna Nnamani, for being with us.
Thank you so much.
He is the chairman Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, and chairman of Boots Party. And in case you do not know, that's a political party, and he is representing Enugu State's Boots Party. Ethnic politics in Nigeria's unity and democratic governance, that was our focus.
Signature TV. News in your pocket.